Alright guys, in this video we're going to look at dialogues. So we have toasts and tooltips. Toasts are basically kind of like alerts that pop up and dismiss, and then a tooltip is if we hover over it, we'll get the little tooltip hover and we can position them as well. Now for the toast, we're going to add a little bit of JavaScript. So you can see here we just have a bunch of buttons. We have show toast, we have rounded toast, and toast with callbacks. We're going to start with just the show toast. Now we could put this inside of an on click if we wanted to, but I'm going to do it the better way, which would be to give this some kind of ID. So let's say we'll call it toast1, and then we'll go down to the JavaScript, and we could use vanilla JavaScript here, but we've been using jQuery, so we might as well just use that. So we'll say toast1, and we'll say .click. Okay, so when that's clicked, we're going to run a function, and inside this function we're going to say materialize materialize.toast, and inside here we'll say I am toast. So let's save that and let's click that first button, and we get this I am toast. Now by default I think it'll just stay there forever until we actually go down and click it, or click, we can kind of drag it away. But we can add a duration. So let's put a comma here and add a second parameter of 3000 and save, and then click it again, and it should go away in 3 seconds. Okay, so this is in milliseconds, so 3000 milliseconds is 3 seconds. So it's as simple as that to show one of these things. For the rounded, what we can do here is let's give this an ID of toast2, and while we're at it we'll give this one an ID of toast3, and then we'll go down here and let's just copy this. So we'll say toast2, and then all we have to do to make this rounded is add in a third parameter and say rounded. So we'll save, we'll click on that, and we get the rounded toast, and it should go away in 3 seconds. Alright, so let me just put some comments here for you guys. So we'll just say run toast, rounded toast, and then we can also do a toast callback, meaning that if we wanted something to happen once the toast is dismissed and goes away, we can do that. So I'm going to copy this, and we'll change this to toast3. That's the third button, and we're just going to add in another parameter, which will be a function, and we can do whatever we want here. Let's just say alert, and we'll say toast dismissed. Okay, now you can keep this rounded. If you didn't want it to be rounded, you could just pass in an empty string like that for the third parameter. So let's save that, and let's click the last one here, and then once it goes away we get an alert. Alright, and obviously you can do whatever you want inside of this function, but if you wanted something to happen, you could do that. Now in addition to button clicks, we can actually ignite the toast from JavaScript. So let's say, or we'll just say create toast by just simply saying, actually we'll just grab this right here and paste that in and save, and now when the page enters it'll actually run. So we can do that. We can also dismiss them all if we want. So if I were to click this multiple times, we'll get multiple toasts, but if I wanted to get rid of them, let's say remove all toasts, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the set timeout JavaScript function, and that will allow me to do something after a certain amount of time. So it takes in a function, and then it takes a second parameter of the amount of time to wait. So I'm going to say 2 seconds or 2000 milliseconds, and then in here I'm going to say materialize dot toast dot remove all. Okay, so what will happen is in 2 seconds after the page loads, it'll remove any toasts that are visible. So let's save it. Let's click this a bunch of times, and in 2 seconds they'll disappear. Okay, I'll reload, click it a bunch of times, 2 seconds, they all go away. Okay, so this will remove all. Okay, and again, you're not restricted to jQuery. For instance, we could do, if we comment this out, so if I comment that out, let's also comment the one out that runs automatically. If I click the first button, nothing's happening. But if I wanted to do, let's say, document dot get element by ID, and we'll grab toast1, and we could say dot add event listener, and we could say on a click. Then we want to call. Actually, we'll just do a function like this. I'm not going to get too in. I'm not going to start using arrow functions and stuff, even though I know a lot of you guys do know that stuff. This is a Materialize course. It's not a JavaScript course. If you are interested in arrow functions, ES6, and advanced JavaScript, I would suggest my Modern JavaScript from the beginning course. But what we're going to do here is just this line. Okay, so this should do the same thing as this, just without jQuery. So if we save and I click it, and nothing happens. Let's see, why is that? That's because I shouldn't have a hash here, because it's get element by ID. It knows that it's an ID without that hash. So there we go. So now that works. All right. So that's going to be it for the toasts. Now let's move on to tooltips. And there's not really anything we need to do in the JavaScript for tooltips. Everything is done through custom attributes. Okay, so we have a bottom tooltip. What we need to do is add a class in addition to button tooltipped, like that, and then we add a data position attribute, which in this case we want to be bottom. So if I save that and I click, well, actually we need some content, so that's going to go in an attribute called data dash tooltip, and this will be the content. So we'll just say I am a tooltip, and now if I click that, we get I am a tooltip, and when I hover away, it goes away. Alright, now if we want it displayed in a different position, what I could do is I'm just going to copy this whole A tag here, and we'll paste it here, and then we'll just change the position to top. We'll do the same thing here. We'll change the position to right, and then here we'll change the position to left. Alright, so it's going to work the same way, except they're going to be in different positions. So that's the right, that's the left. And then lastly, we can add a delay if we want. So if we hover over any of these, they pretty much just show up right away. If we wanted to delay, we could add a data delay attribute and set that to milliseconds. We'll say 2000, so 2 seconds. So the first one, if I hover over it, it takes 2 seconds for the tooltip to show. Okay, and just for that one, these ones will show up fine, but this one will wait 2 seconds. Alright, so that's it for toasts and tooltip dialogues. In the next video, we'll look at the material box widget as well as the slider.